they were ready to launch anyway. They had already bought the units, but it was kind of like perpetuated because of COVID. There was a couple of really funny use cases that I think you guys will appreciate. One of them is they couldn't fly the rabbi in to certify the kosher products at the factory. And instead of, putting things on delay, because at PepsiCo, they also own Frito-Lay, Quaker, it's a big division. There's no way, like when one of their machines goes down in the factory line, it's like millions of dollars, right? Like you're talking about massive quantity of money. So instead of, having to fly people in that were specialists on certain machines when they would go down, they would remote in and have the expert actually have them fix it using the camera, because it's right above your actual line of sight. So they can see what they were doing and walk them through the steps. They had the rabbi kosher certified the kosher products because they couldn't fly them in. They had all of these crazy use cases. The Costco shipment boxes, they got bigger. So they had to reconfigure the box machine that makes the boxes. The list goes on and on. You're talking about medical. We just Thursday, I trained when we were supposed to meet that day. I said, I'm going to be eating during our meeting. We were training the Ukrainian doctors that needed help doing those trauma surgery. And that was really awesome. So I want to see if you guys want to try this out, see what it looks like. You want to try it out first? All right.
So it's really show and tell.
Yeah, it's really show and tell. And we'll also get on a Zoom call so you can see what it looks like. You can sit it. Okay. I love when those VR videos on YouTube, like the first time somebody sees VR and it's like they go crazy, but this is not like that because you actually do need a person, right? It's somebody, we're helping an actual person do the job. I don't know if you're right eye or left eye dominant. You're right eye dominant. So we're going to take this. Can you see it at all? You can maybe adjust it and share it.
And can we see what she sees?
Well, for her, Go ahead, and if anything you see on the screen, you can say, and I'm going to sync this one up.
My program.
Yeah.
My program.
Oh, it's on mute. All right, let's unmute you.
My program. Is it kind of like eye tracking or like just a focus? My control. Navigate home.
Oh, that was a no learning curve for you. Okay.
With the magic leap, it didn't work for me because I had glasses.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think you should have the unmute the voice because the letter.
Yeah.
When you're muted, how can you unmute?
How can you
Yeah.
unmute?
That's a good point. No, you have to touch the button to unmute for sure.
Have unmute the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Right,
good
that's a
point.
good one.
Is it too tight for you?
It's a quarter off. So maybe we'll move on.
Yeah.
Because I wanted also Louis.
Yeah.
My program.
My camera set.
My camera. Photo.
And record video.
Record video.
Yeah.
Loaded that to the app. All
Okay.
right, I'll have it anyway when we do our
Yeah.
happy hour. If you guys want to check it out, I'll
Yeah.
sanitize it for each of the uses if you guys can come check it out.
Okay.
You just say navigate home.
Navigate home.
Well, you're seeing
Good
there
job.
with the camera they're seeing, right?
No, I see both. I see what the camera's saying and also I see.
All
both.
right, I'll let you
Okay.
come up. I don't want to take
It's
your
like that.
time.
No, this is part
Yeah.
of my time. I know it.
But it's a good segue to you because
Yeah.
here you're actually assisting a human. And in
Right.
some case, and these workers are really concerned about their jobs being replaced. We're just kind of eliminating the fact that now the experts can kind of stay at home and be anywhere and control the new users out in the field and help them out. So they don't have to be there down their neck being the apprentice. And people love that because they don't want to keep traveling and being out in the field every day. Taking it to you, we're going to have digital twins in the future, right? So there's not going to be a need for this reality anymore. But right now, there is still a need and we're using it in practical sense now. So good segue for you.
And actually, thank you. That was great. Wow. And that is a link to a different world, right? Not only the live world, but it goes above and beyond. The connectivity that we are going to have in the real life, not only in the metaverse, but is the interaction of us. We all have phones now. I mean, we don't leave out our house without a phone. And we see it through the different lenses without, not our eyes, but a machine. And it gets getting smarter and smarter by the day. And this is the creativity of education that it needs to happen in the next. So this equipment for the next 10, 15 years is going to revolutionize different industries. And not only the high-tech industries, but like an everyday, and that connectivity with the AI assistance and all the programs that already that system has, it opens the doors for you in the metaverse and gives you the options that people that don't have hands be able to navigate and explore and create so many other different things. But that will be another subject, which will be such a great subject to talk about, because I believe that there's a lot of people being left behind, not only for issues that they have personally, but monetary. And once all these equipments and systems starts lowering the prices, and where the school systems and districts.
Excuse me, you said something that stopped my camera, so I will be talking to the camera. Don't worry about me. My camera, it listens, record video, and when he sees something that the interpreter thinks that it is stop recording or something, it executes command on my device. So go ahead and continue.
Yeah.
So this is we live in a great times today. You know, maybe as difficult as we see, and other people from the different countries are going through today. These are times that so much innovation and so much opportunities are out there, and with the financing systems and technologies, AI, all this, it can really make that happen. But people need to start learning more about it. But what I want to show a little bit, I didn't know what's there yet. When I show this, I would like for Greg to come, and he will be one. I want him to talk about a little bit of tokenomics on the metaverse, and a little bit about. So I'll let I'll just go right here.
Yeah. I was gonna let him float around the metaverse here. We've had this MVP for a few years now. And so if you
So what are we, this is software, what are we seeing here?
This is
Greg
built on the
Lewis.
Flow blockchain with Ozone as our metaverse engine. It's a group out of Colorado. And so this is where it comes into, what we feel like there's going to be a new definition of identity. Rome is older than Italy, New York is older than America, right? So it's just like governance and identity at the local level or at the city level. And that's why we've kind of chose to get into XR Labs Miami and building out this metaverse and build out the experience with Miami. I'm going to echo what Kristen said, that a lot of people see the metaverse as this escapism, right? Like, oh, you're going to go to a concert, you're going to go relax or something like that. I often feel like that's kind of like the privileged people's way of like seeing the metaverse. But we're going to have to earn our way into the metaverse. Our earning is going to be there. We're going to be told to get there, right, by your boss or your employer. And I feel like this is where we have an opportunity is within the metaverse to highlight different aspects of who we are, right? So our parents gave us certain things that we have to continuously contend with and project to the world and kind of like justify or cope with. In the metaverse, we can highlight our status in certain networks and then display it on here. So for example, we're seeing it with the NFT, right? So I'm in the World of Women NFT project, right? And so people can then give me some kind of identity based on that project. And then within the project, my avatar has its value within it. So I can project that into the metaverse, your avatar is there, and you get to have the choice on what information you display and with whom. So I can start saying that maybe even with government business proposals, you can kind of say, hey, we're going to work on this whole workforce in the metaverse where the participants get to choose these values which they display to the group. And then it's not based on gender or race or any other thing that was like forced onto you, right? You're now evaluating and are sharing this this identity with those around you. So we're working on a game. This is like one of our kind of Kristen has really cool use cases. It's really cool to watch what they're doing over there because we're kind of working on the same problem but at a different angle. Or I'm looking at how do we create a system in which somebody that can't use an alphabet would need to get in there. And so I wanted to share with you one way we're doing it is we're working on a game called Fight Your Friends, and we can scan you as an avatar, and then you get in there and you can do the Mortal Kombat play of fighting your friends, right? Kind of cool where you get to interact with your friends. Now throw on there the realities of play to earn, right? So now what we're doing is we're taking our local identities, we're talking about the value of our friendships, we're playing and interacting, and we're earning together. So within the blockchain, you have the ability to do these like financial moves, and all you're trying to get on the blockchain is transactions. So it doesn't matter how you're getting those transactions. So this is where you're seeing the basis of our metaverse here. And some of these plays here where you can fly, you can move fast, slow. You know, we're starting to build out games for like yacht clubs and supercar clubs here in Miami. And so now it's like, okay, so why would you get in the metaverse? So you could get this Ferrari from the Wynwood, club and then race it and then build this kind of like competition, cooperation within the city. And people are now interacting with Miami, earning money and having a new type of experience. So this is with like the metaverse aspect of it. And we are XR Labs, which the X means, like experimental in all realities. And the augmented realities be crazy. Like imagine augmented reality with earning, like go here and earn this. And what you can do with human behavior with this new thing. Airdropping, the NFT guy on one app where you go white label and it says, hey, man, go here, earn this, money. Just remember in college, you get like $10 gift cards here and there from Visa and AT&T. It's going to be the same airdrop.
Like an XR dealer over there, huh?
Right? I mean, we just had the Bitcoin conference and I talked to one of the organizers afterward. I'm like, man, you guys could you could sell these for $10,000 because if everybody made $15,000 coming to this event, because all the sponsors can airdrop now. That's what the new type of engagement. So this is where I'm saying people are starting to open up to it.
It's a new field of marketing, basically, when you think about how people are marketing and basically, I could even see them doing focus groups.
Yeah, well, I guess what you're saying too is value matching. Like, how do you find your, go ahead.
I think we retired some terminology, marketing and sales and all kinds of those today, but this is engagement.
See, yeah. Great.
And then because of that, it's gonna be new metric, whatever you're gonna call.
Right. Yeah, artists are the obvious first ones in this. And how do we make an artist engagement?
Make partial real estate somewhere, or make
I can think-
monopoly.
I can think of it in healthcare, of teaching people good habits, of rewarding people.
Thank you. There. I was going to say
In
reward
way-
people for
Good
good habits.
habits, right?
So-
In terms of, think about our country, because really, when you think about all the diseases, it's really, a lot of times they think about obesity. If you could just reduce that obesity, even why is the United States the highest death rate in COVID? Part of it is with obesity. In other countries, they have it and people don't die. So they see the idea, and how do you basically incentivize?
Well, here's the other thing. So even with this device you guys have here, every profession that was mentioned was a high stress profession, from day trading, which is all
Right.
mentioned high stress, to bomb, to surgeons, all this stuff. So mental health needs to be incorporated into this system too. So moving your eyes is a way of beta blocking from your executive brain to your reptilian brain.
That's
So
interesting.
here, having a system in which not only are you fixing the high altitude thing, but you're also calming down. And it's like
That's
now
okay.
what we're talking about, reducing cortisol within our system. Once again, these are the types of things that when we build our new apps, games, flows, operating systems, that we start looking into these types of like engagement models that reduce cortisol and promote moments that matter.
Great. Well, awesome.
Is this kind of application considered like iOS, like Internet of Senses? I mean, like once you start adding devices, once you're looking at the senses in the human being, is that part of?
So yeah, we're getting into some good like distributed computation and serverless apps, and you talked about Holo, and I'm a community member in Holo Chain. which is a really cool Apple-like sort of thing. For these guys, there is some centralization here on because it's on the Flow blockchain, and these avatars can't commercially interact. That's another cool part of this one.
I can even see sensors of basically of getting yourself calmed and anxiety and basically almost like that biofeedback that you
Yeah,
can
could you imagine doing
basically
neurofeedback while you're doing it and then earning the reputation over time.
how to relax. When they're telling people how to relax, nobody knows how to relax.
Well,
Right, they
imagine
have all these
proving that
apps.
I've relaxed
Right.
for 60 days.
Right.
And I can only get access to certain things. If I'm a cop, maybe I have to relax or get sleep before my weapon, is released out of the armor. Something like, these are the things we come into value matching within the smart cities and metaverse. You got to find your true state. And we all lie to ourselves. I always like go on to use a Tinder example. You get on the Tinder, people say, oh, I'm not here for a one-night stand. You're like, when you filled this out, because you lie to yourself, there's other reasons, social pressures, oh, I don't want my coworkers to see this, blah, blah, blah. But then, how do you find your true measure? And then how do you match that, right? And this allows us to find our true state and then match that true state with other people's true state. So the new level of efficiency, I think, is what you're also going to see here.
So that goes into social behavior, right? Let's say Facebook. Facebook is the number one, which is called Meta now, but it's social. So what we have here for HR Miami, it's for everybody, for the community, right? So this is the new Facebook in 3D with activation of whatever coins you want to use. Change yourself and trade by. So we have about 20 worlds open. This is more for NFT clothing, but we also have classes, we have buildings, we have cities, and the next step is for us to have the digital twin of Miami. But why does it look like this, right? Because it comes back down from the programming of the gaming, right? Gaming is the only way they can show something unreal, right? So, and that's where the digital twins are coming, is to be able to mimic the real life as authentication, right? And the avatars, you can take a picture and there's algorithms that will help you create your avatar. It may look like you, are you happy on that? But there's other equipment that digitalizes and really gives you an exact, really replica of you. But the system is not allow them to be in it yet. So once the systems are allowing all the programs available, we're going to be able to see each other as we speak, and that's going to take a couple of years. With the beauty of our platform is that we can have thousands, 10,000 people at a time. So we can create the world as whoever imagined that, right? It's like what show me more is show me what you dream of, and we can create it.
Sense of community.
Water, and this is where real estate is coming along, because smart contracts is going to be able to have a digital twin of a city, and you can e-commerce of houses, rents, and you can. It's a new commerce out here that you have a real estate that does not exist, that can be combined with the real world. So those interactions coming together is like pretty amazing, right? And how can you be is the blockchain. The blockchain will identify and clarify, and it's part of it will be decentralized. And now all the things that are happening is the opportunities for creators, for developers, for machines to be able to co-work together. And with Extra Labs and the platform that we work with also, it gives us the opportunity to adapt all these different machines, programs, and be able to put them in the same place. And how about if you have your avatar in this world, right? But you want to go to an X, Y, other world. But how is it going to recognize you? How is it going to interact if you want to buy something, if you want to trade something? And this is where all these worlds are going to be coming, working and developing with each other and grow.
Yeah.
This is any other questions?
Yeah. Well, that's great. We're running out of time. So I just wanted to introduce Mark. Do you have his slides or Mark, do you want to just
Sure.
Just introduce yourself.
Slides?
Yeah, we do. Kristen can have that. Yeah, we're running out of time, in a few minutes here.
Sure. So
Just
I
like
work-
2 or 3 minutes
Yeah,
we
so
can
I
do.
work- Yeah, so I work with the city of Coral Gables. She's gonna bring up some images
Yeah.
that we have. So a couple of years ago, 3, I think to be exact, we
Right.
had this, there you go. So we had a vendor, Encyclopedia, drive the streets of the city, doing
Thank you,
LiDAR
Kristen.
photography on all the streets and as well as real photography, pixel photography, and draping the LiDAR imagery with the pixels. So this is my digital twin, but I need to instantiate it with data behind it so that I know that this lamppost is X number of feet. Conceivably, someone wearing a real wear type of device could walk up to this, recognize each other, authenticate, and authorize someone to look at this pole from an intelligence standpoint for any maintenance is required on it, and get a work order come up and know what needs to be done in this light pole. For instance, if they need to put something at the top of the light pole, they could literally, call back to the office, find out what the work order is meant to be, fill the work order. If they need equipment, because they don't have it there, it can be deployed either through a drone or through a vehicle, somebody transport it, bring it over, deliver it. Scissor truck comes along, install it, or say that they want to make sure it's installed the same way on this pole as it is on the other pole. If you were to appear with one of these devices on you with your avatar, yourself and your avatar, you could deploy your avatar to the other site because they're looking at it in the digital version, not in the real world version where you're applying a device. But they can inspect the digital version and say, hey, it's not deployed that way. You need to adjust it by 5 inches, 6 inches. So now you're acting dynamically in the environment using how would you call it, your digital twin, as an augmentation of your presence. We talked about transactions, we talked about engagement. So everything we do in life with other people or even with tables and chairs are engagements. The transactions are what you do. I moved the chair, I sat down at the table. Is that fungible? I don't know. But we talk about how effort and value comes out of work. And so as long as you're working, you're producing. So the question is, how do you value that? How do you value production? These are, I'll change the slides, I guess. I have 2 slides of this. This is different sections of the city. Yes, no, maybe. Now, let's try that. Yeah, this is another section of the city where they drove it. These dots on this planimetric map, they represent the locations on the street where if you click on this, the car, which is driving here, will adjust the view. You see a different view. You can spin this around with 360 wherever the shot is taken. And then other applications would be in the case of zoning. So say you have provenance that you're trying to discover. You've got these various color-coded zones coming from our vendor critics, using GIS information to identify what zones in the city are planned for, how you can use that property if you were to purchase it. Let's say you have a question about proximity to other types of zones and you want to understand the dynamics of governance and how decisions are arrived at, and where those decisions are kept. You could, using this kind of a model, again, a digital twin, you could investigate that and say, hey, when was the ordinance written? When was the resolution written to determine that this should be zoned like this? I don't think that's a proper use. You could look into law. You could bring all that back. The point is that you make your data available across your organization that makes it searchable by anybody. Not you don't have to go to the city hall and submit a public information request. It's all transparent and available. This is a new device just deployed. We're going to deploy about 10 more. It is branded. It's an Ekin pole. Comes out of the Mideast, I believe. Device in Turkey, I believe. The pole is entirely modular. That's the profile. That's a real truck. That's the real pole sitting in the island on Alhambra in the financial district of Coral Gables near Ponce de Leon. So that pole has Wi-Fi. It can connect back to other poles in form of mesh, Wi-Fi mesh, broadcast public Wi-Fi, track vehicles, count vehicles, pedestrians, bicycles, cars, trucks, all those sorts of things with cameras and with IoT devices, beacons and lights that are controllable, annunciators. So if there's something going on in the area, it can annunciate. These poles are going to be deployed throughout the city. They're collecting information. What's the atmosphere like? What's the noise level like? Are there gunshots going on? Hello.
Would you be able to use those in case like a crime happens
You can interact with it, yeah. So I don't know that this poll specifically, I know what you're saying. I don't know if this poll specifically has that capability, but as such, it's entirely modular. You just plug in the module you need. So yes, someone could approach the poll and say, I need help, you know.
Or
911.
that it can sense gunshots, you know.
Right, they can listen to, they can sense a traffic accident.
Yeah.
And report it back to the police. 2 cars just crashed, 50 feet from this intersection. You could be able to measure the sound and know how far away something happened. Quickly now. So the basis for all this, you all know Facebook, you all know Google, right? So Google and Facebook, they build all their information on a knowledge graph. They don't use tabular SQL type data, they use connected data where relationships are established between nodes of things, subject, predicate, object, just like we talk in English. It's like the real world. It's like when you walk outdoors, you see all the things around you. You have a relationship with those things, or you know that some of those things have relationships to each other. You kind of codify the world that you move in based on how you understand table. What's it used for? Used for eating. So it's that form of knowledge information. That's what I'm hoping to build and behind that digital twin that I showed you in this first slide. The idea is that all the information associated with the city that we store in our different application databases can now be extracted from this database in an ongoing way, ETL'd into a knowledge graph that lets the person here know that this light is run by the county. I don't need to maintain it. The crosswalk, is maintained by the county. I have to maintain it. Where were these pavers manufactured if we need to order more? All that stuff can be done in quick time.
Now, is knowledge
Is
a
that 3
product or is that something you coined?
I coined that term.
Okay.
I coined that term. Knowledge,
That's good.
location, GIS.
That's
what it
good.
says.
Well, it's a good term.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes.
This isn't open source, right?
Yes, this product, no. This product is something purchased and it served us. I'm talking with the vendor now, since we own the draped imagery, it's essentially ours. I want to be able to ingest it into my own machines and use it for my purposes. So at that point, it would be open, yes.
Right. I'm just thinking like there's applications where like terrorists pick up.
Well, that's
all the
why
things
you have
map out
authentication, so that
are-
if you have identity, if you walk the street of the city, you already have access to this information.
Right.
The data behind can be obfuscated based on authentication, use and person trying to access it. But you already have those sorts of dilemmas already. All this street furniture that you walk around the city on, it's got tags and labels. They're encoded, but they're transcribable. They can be understood.
But this can be done like from mobile. I guess.
If somebody has an avatar here from Islamabad, they can send him out to go do it.
Well, that's how you know it
Proxies.
works. The black market exception, then it wouldn't work. If the black market didn't accept it, then you know you got a failed product.
I'm sorry, you were going to ask a question?
Yeah, I guess the other thing that I wanted to mention, to remind everybody, not people like my environment, but and this is all going to be connected via 5G or 4G LTE. So please allow your techs of you to upgrade from 3G to 4G LTE when they call you, accept those appointments and calling everybody. Because the future depends on you upgrades to at least 4 LTE and beyond. So the bandwidth is being built, but you also have to get involved.
Wow. Cool. Well, I want to
Thank you, everybody.
Isn't it great? Made it, huh? So we're ready. Any other questions? We'll take it out at the happy hour. That's what I said.
One thing before we finish, we're streaming this live. What we're really doing is we reverse engineer algorithm like Google and Yahoo and all those search engines. So we know how to be #1 worldwide. And I'd like to, first of all, this is the stream, the live stream. Sarah, can you sit in front of my computer there so they see your face?
Oh, this one, yeah.
Okay, so this is on YouTube. You can all go there. This is this conference live stream right now from YouTube Live. Say, look at your monitor there. So say hello to the audience. I want you to see the delay in time, okay?
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, there.
That's what your face,
Wow.
Sarah.
Yeah, so you can see it.
Camera where you sit.
Well, you were there before. Somebody was there.
There she goes.
Oh, there you go.
See, you
There
can.
You have to put your camera here, like
Right.
this, and lower your head.
So I didn't know which one, but you know, that's the problem when you're talking about trading with latency. So in that case for high frequency traders, right? Did you see that was like that 5-second latency for that YouTube? Can you hear me?
Now, let me show you, here is an example of 360 optimized to be #1 worldwide. This is called SEO, search engine optimization. And I'm going to click on it. It's going to take me to YouTube.
Avi, so that video you were showing before, that was just the video you had from the,
No, it's
that
live.
area you were superimposing
No,
sound.
no,
No,
no.
no.
It's
Was it
live
real
stream.
time?
It's real
And
time,
this is-
but it's just delay in YouTube. That's how long it's delayed, because this is basically streaming to
Oh, so you
YouTube.
got you had a camera.
Right
Real
here.
time.
This.
This is Sarah teaching. I want to stop the search engine, we dominate the first page. In this case, it is YouTube, we do it with Google, with Yahoo, with AOL, with all the search engine. And the advantage of 360 is you can rotate it and see the audience. So you click on this remote control here.
This is basically streaming to YouTube. Does this look familiar, Wendy?
And this little camera can stream it live, but we have problem with the Wi-Fi here and so on. But it will look just like this, but live. And I was working with this XR Lab. They have some other people that specialize in streaming 360, which we will try to demonstrate in the ITX.
Okay.
But this is how it will look. And the important thing I wanted to explain to you, this is vanity numbers. This is a vanity number. I don't remember which one it is, but this one is on trial.biz. So that helps because the search engine understands area codes, and we use it to type the search engine results page. And that is part of our reverse engineering of the algorithm. That is why we got into trading, because we reversed the algorithm of the stock market. And by accident, we realized that the search engines are using similar algorithms. So then we applied it to search engine optimization. And I showed you how we dominated the page with this keyword. And you can type it on your phone or anywhere else. 360 4K refers to the surround video, 4K the resolution, and this is a vanity phone number on trial.com, and it's also a domain name and also a theme of what we are doing. This is for medical trials. So we are working with doctors to optimize their medical trials to make them #1, so people around the world will know about them before the medicine is available for distribution. And now we have to conclude because they told us already to get lost. So we'll talk to you about the
Awesome. Thanks a lot for joining us. So let me shut down here. Thank you, Amanda. Oh, well, I guess we know where it is, so we can do it on our own, but I do appreciate it.
What can I help with? Should I
Uh,
pause this recording on the phone?
yeah, you can stop it. Yeah, stop that, the recording, and then I'll stop these two. And then I'll stop my Zoom
And I
here.
did one
What,
on
and
my
here,
next one.
let's see if this is, just stop these.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you, thank you.
How to run. She was here earlier. but-
Okay, was Roy
She said
here?
hello. No, Roy was, he's working on some project.
I know
Figure it out.
he texted me.
Did he?
Yes, and he said, oh, why don't you should tell your students about this event. And I said, well, why don't you come to my event?
He's the one who told me about it.
That's funny
I
because he told me and he said he was there.
He told me about it. I was
Right,
like,
right,
I'm like,
right.
oh my God, I'll meet you
Right,
there.
right. Okay, great. Okay, so we're
And
gonna
you have
get
Amanda. Amanda, how are you?
you.
Great
I
to
just want to
see
cut you
you.
off.
No worries. How's
Okay.
things going?